Welcome to Daily Gossip. You will get daily Hollywood updates here. Remember to subscribe for the latest videos. Today, we're diving deep into a headline that is sending shockwaves across both the entertainment and political media worlds. Mike Richards, the once disgraced executive producer of Jeopardy, has just been named President and Chief Content Officer of the Daily Wire, one of the most polarizing and influential conservative media platforms in the United States. This isn't just a comeback story. This is a resurrection. This is the tale of a man who fell harder than most in the unforgiving world of American television, and yet has somehow returned, not quietly, not behind the scenes, but in a seat of undeniable power. What happened behind closed doors? Why did the Daily Wire take this risk? And what does it mean for the future of political media, of cultural influence, of redemption itself? To truly understand the gravity of this story, we have to go back to the height of the Mike Richards scandal in 2021, after the tragic passing of beloved Jeopardy host Alex Trebek. The nation waited with bated breath to find out who would take the reins of America's most iconic game show. Names were floated. Fans debated online. But out of nowhere, Mike Richards, an executive producer with little national fame, emerged as the surprise selection. For a moment, it seemed like Richards had pulled off the coup of the decade. But then, it all came crashing down. Within days of the announcement, the media exploded with damning revelations. Past podcast comments resurfaced. Comments that were widely criticized as sexist, offensive, and wildly inappropriate for someone stepping into such a revered cultural institution. But that wasn't all. Allegations from his time producing The Price is Right and Let's Make a Deal added fuel to the fire. Claims of discrimination, toxic workplace behavior, and lawsuits involving models who worked under him. The scrutiny was relentless. The public outrage was swift. Mike Richards was forced to step down as host, and shortly thereafter, he was fired as executive producer entirely. It was a spectacular downfall, unfolding in real time before the eyes of millions. A man who had quietly worked behind the scenes for years had been thrust into the spotlight, only to be devoured by it. For most, that would have been the end. The media moved on. Jeopardy chose Mayim Bialik and Ken Jennings to co-host. Richards faded from view. In the eyes of the public, his name was synonymous with scandal, ego, and failure. But Mike Richards wasn't done. While headlines stopped covering him, the man himself did not disappear. He didn't retreat into shame or silence. Instead, he was watching, waiting, and, most importantly, rebuilding. Fast forward to late 2024. Without fanfare or press releases, Mike Richards quietly joined the Daily Wire, the Ben Shapiro-founded conservative media juggernaut that has grown from a modest right-wing outlet to a cultural and political force. Known for their provocative stances, aggressive digital content strategy, and controversial programming, including figures like Jordan Peterson, Candace Owens, and Matt Walsh, the Daily Wire has never shied away from controversy. If anything, they thrive on it, so perhaps it should come as no surprise that they would see opportunity in the career wreckage of Mike Richards. But what happened next is even more surprising. Not only did Richards find a home at the Daily Wire, but he ascended. In May 2025, it was officially announced that Mike Richards is now the President and Chief Content Officer of the entire company. That means he now has direct influence over the Daily Wire's programming, strategic direction, and creative output. He went from being publicly shamed and fired in disgrace to becoming the media mastermind behind one of the most powerful conservative platforms in America. How? Sources close to the Daily Wire suggests that Richards, impressed with his ability to revamp production quality, design content with mass appeal, and, ironically, understand the machinery of scandal better than most. Insiders say he was instrumental in launching new series like Ben After Dark, a late-night style opinion show hosted by Ben Shapiro, and a parenting series with Jordan Peterson aimed at reinforcing traditional family values. These shows are sleek, polished, and emotionally charged, everything Richards specialized in during his game show days. It appears the Daily Wire didn't just want his skill. They wanted his scars. They wanted a man who knew how to weather public's outrage and come out stronger. But not everyone is cheering. The decision has drawn sharp criticism from progressive media outlets, former colleagues, and Jeopardy fans alike. Critics argue that Richards represents the very worst of corporate media, the kind of person who climbed the ladder by controlling narratives and hiding behind executive titles. To them, his new role is a dangerous sign that cancel culture doesn't truly hold power, that a man accused of discrimination can still rise to greater influence, provided he shifts political sides. And while the Daily Wire's audience may cheer this as a redemption arc, others see it as a slap in the face to accountability and progress. Jeremy Boring, one of the co-founders of the Daily Wire and a pivotal figure in its growth, quietly stepped away from his executive role earlier in 2025. The timing is suspicious to many, leading to speculation that Richards' rise was in motion long before it became public. Was this a strategic replacement? Did Boring step down voluntarily? Or was this part of a longer play to restructure the leadership with someone like Richards, someone with high-level TV experience, and the backbone to face down controversy? And let's not forget the cultural implications here. The Daily Wire has never been just about news. It's about influence. They've launched films, kids' content, educational series, and even mobile platforms that promise to be uncensorable. With Mike Richards at the helm, you can expect an even greater push into traditional entertainment territory, but with a political edge. That's the key. Richards doesn't just know how to produce television. He knows how to produce emotion. And in today's media landscape, emotion is currency. Interestingly, some former critics of Richards are now watching with a mix of awe and apprehension. Could this be a full circle moment? Could Mike Richards use his position to reshape public perception and reclaim the dignity he once lost? Or will his past come back to haunt him again? The media world is watching. Some see redemption, others see manipulation. But one thing is certain, Mike Richards is back in power. And this time, he's not hiding behind the camera. As president of the Daily Wire, Richards has already greenlit several new series for 2025 and beyond. One project, insiders claim, is a documentary titled Fall and Rise, Stories Cancel, Culture Couldn't Kill, which features profiles of individuals, from comedians to professors to journalists, who faced career-ending backlash and fought to survive. It's impossible to ignore the meta-commentary. Richards isn't just producing a story, he's living it. There's also talk of a scripted series, dramatizing events from media and politics, which critics already fear will blend fact and fiction in ways that promote bias under the guise of storytelling. But that's the Richards method. Take reality, enhance it, make it gripping, make it stick. Love him or hate him, you can't deny his ability to craft a narrative. In many ways, this isn't just a comeback story. It's a cultural statement. In 2021, Mike Richards was exiled from one of the most beloved family-friendly institutions in America. In 2025, He has returned to power through one of the most controversial and provocative platforms in the country. It's almost poetic, and whether you see him as a villain, a genius, or a cautionary tale, one fact remains. Mike Richards has flipped the script on his own story. So, what does the future hold? Will he succeed in reshaping the Daily Wire into a more mainstream, entertainment-savvy powerhouse? Will audiences respond to the emotional, high-stakes content he's known for? Or will his past once again rise from the ashes and bring him down? Only time will tell. But in the world of media, where attention is power and controversy sells, Mike Richards may have just found his perfect home. Thanks for watching Daily Gossip. If this story surprised or shocked you, let us know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Mike Richards deserves this second chance? Or is this a dangerous shift in what we reward in media culture? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more dramatic and emotional updates from the world of Hollywood, politics, and everything in between.